Hello everyone, welcome back to Forever United TV. Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to this Sunday morning live stream. Get into the live comment section if you are in with us live today, and please do get into the comment section afterwards. We're talking Manchester United's wing-back situation. The conversation about Tino, Livramento and Muñoz from Crystal Palace takes me back to what Andy Mitten said on the Talk of the Devils podcast about Manchester United not actively looking for a wing-back or in the wide area in the next two transfer windows. Well, not so much the next two transfer windows, he said, but coming up into January, it's not a top target for Manchester United. And in the same podcast, he said Diogo Dalot needs to improve, otherwise he could be seeing the exit door as well. This is a massive problem for Manchester United. Are we finally recognising the issue that we've got? We need to plug them holes in our team if we are to move forward with Ruben Amorim's system. The talk of the central midfield has been taken care of. There is no more news on anything in that area until we get into the January transfer window. We know we're going to talk about potential targets and them shows are going to come up, but finally, are we about to start entering a conversation here and Manchester United actively looking for what's necessary and what's needed? The wing-back area at Manchester United, the right-hand side, I'm okay with Ahmad. I know a lot of you are still not 100% on that, and that's fine. He's still adapting to that role. Get into the comment section on that. I want to open it up to the debate today on this one regarding Man United's wing-back situation. Dorgu, is he good enough? He's still raw. Dalot is a big problem for Manchester United, the most inconsistent player and underperforming player in the squad. I think everyone's agreed on that so far this season. And for Manchester United to not be looking doesn't seem right. I'll go through the stories of Tino, Livramento and where this has come from, and Muñoz as well from Crystal Palace. Give me your names. Give me your players that you would like to see Manchester United actively going for the wing-back area. It is a key role in this club. We spoke the other day potentially about Antoine Semenyo potentially being an option for Manchester United at wing-back. Does it need to be a very specialised position and transfer for Manchester United to make to fix that area of the pitch? It's going to be a problem for us if we continue with Dalot throughout the season. I think the fear for most Manchester United fans going into the rest of this season now after this international break is that there could be moments where it is Manuel Ugarte and Dalot both started in the same team. You cannot carry two players. You could maybe get away with one at times, and United have done this. The attacks down our left-hand side have been frequent and, more often than not, the most active when it comes to crossing. And Dalot has been a problem throughout the season for Manchester United. Even when he's come off the bench, he's caused problems for Manchester United. Whether in playing on the right, whether it's in playing on the left. I can think of numerous occasions where he hasn't been at it. He's not physical enough, he's not quick enough, and I don't think he's switched on enough for Manchester United at the moment. Look, there are qualities in Dalot, and he has been okay at times for the club, but is this now coming up to 8 years of Dalot? It's time to say goodbye and say we need to move past him and bring somebody in that is fully capable of doing the job on that left-hand side. Dorgu, I would rather see play and grow. We've not seen enough of him to say if he's good enough or not. Why does Dalot keep on getting a chance? Is it because he's got a long throw? Look, that's not enough for me. A lot of people will say that is a real weapon, and Dalot can actually turn it on sometimes, so it's probably best playing him ahead of Dorgu. How will we ever know if Dorgu is good enough if Dalot continues to play and underperform there? And a lot of people will use this to hang Ruben Amorim. They will. And if he continues playing him, then I think we are going to be a weaker side. So for me, definitely, my opinion on this is that Dorgu would probably be my preferred option. Look, we lose the long throw, so what? We're going to have to deal with that. We can't build a team around having a long throw. It is a weapon, and it has come in handy for us sometimes this season. But Dalot's overall performance has been shocking, I think, this season. I really do think he's been the biggest letdown out of everyone in this squad who has continuously played for Manchester United. The story on Tino Livramento stems from the interest from Jason Wilcox in his time at Southampton. Of course, Newcastle bought Tino Livramento from Southampton. He's got 2 years left on his contract after this season finishes. So he's entering that negotiation period, and Newcastle are thought to be pushing for a new deal for him. If they don't get European football, and this again, look, just to make it very clear on this, United are way off getting Tino Livramento. It's very early stages. He's admired by Jason Wilcox, and he's the perfect player in the Manchester United director of football's eyes to come in and fit into Ruben's system. The constant dialect conversations happening between Ruben Amorim and Jason Wilcox, we know are there from them interviews with Jason Wilcox from last week on MUTV on the new podcast. But again, we have to be realistic with it. And Tino Livramento is a key player for Eddie Howe. There is talk of Eddie Howe's future at Newcastle if Newcastle don't make European football. Very similar situation to what we're looking at with Elliot Anderson. The task of them clubs keeping them players becomes greater if they're not in European football. If United do make it through the season, and Tino Livramento is not going to come to United in January, let's make that very, very clear. It's not what's going to happen. Not when you're competing with one of your rivals. You're not going to get one of their players. What this is Manchester United recognising that this is an area for United to fix. Livramento, I think he's a great player. I've got big concerns with his injury record. I'll say that. I don't think that's great. But again, the links with Jason Wilcox, Manchester United at the moment with injuries, I just think we've got that area down, and we're looking good. We are looking very good with the injury side of things. We're nursing these players well and making sure that we're on top of everything data-wise also. The training isn't as, isn't as fierce like it used to be, and we used to have loads and loads of injuries under Ten Hag. We've now got a system in place that looks like we're getting it right on the training ground. So, yeah, look, the injury records for every player is going to be there. We're going to be talking later on Football Talks after this show about Gabriel going down with a groin injury, which could really hamper Arsenal's title charge as well. So that's coming up after this show. But just to use that as an example, like there's always going to be injury concerns with every single player. Nobody thought that we were going to lose Benjamin Sesko against Spurs. Things happen, injuries happen. Should we be looking at that as a major issue? Should we be looking at that as to why we don't buy a particular player? You could, but it all comes into how you manage that player also and what you do with that player when you have got him in your squad. So I like Tino Livramento. I think he'd be a great player for Manchester United. I think he'd fit perfectly at wing-back. His side, he's known for playing both. So again, it's another option for Manchester United. But the Muñoz one as well from Crystal Palace, I think it just shows you that Manchester United are looking at a clear and obvious problem at this football club right now in terms of the squad and in the starting 11. You can talk about several positions of players in this team and they would have squad depth behind them and it not be much of a talking point. But wing-back, my God, that left-hand side, it is absolutely killing us right now. It really is. And you know what? You could still say, well, we bought Dorgu, so why are we even looking for another wing-back right now? Well, Dorgu can obviously play on the right-hand side, and he's 20 years old. He's still learning as well. Manchester United need a fix. They need a ready-made player to step into that position. I don't care what people say about giving Dorgu a chance. I'm one of them people, by the way. We still need to go out and get a best-in-class wing-back along with the best-in-class midfielders. We're talking about challenging here. Yes, we can build a younger team, we can build a squad, and we can challenge in the future. But right now, Manchester United need to improve that starting 11. And there are a couple of positions there that really need fixing for United before we can even say that we can consistently challenge in that top four. Wing-back has to be up there, top of the list, alongside the central midfield areas. There are two key parts to Ruben Amorim's system. How many times have we said central midfield needs to be two best in class if you're going to play two midfielders? The wing-backs need to be that extra attacker and then have the athleticism to get back and cover and help out that back three. There's so many parts in this system that need to be perfect and have the exact right player. We just don't on that left-hand side right now. I do think that is United's weakest part of our side. It really is. Defensively, alongside the midfield, obviously, I'm not going to forget about that. But Diogo Dalot, I think his time has to be up now. He's been here long enough. He's been a good servant, very professional. And I go back, like I said, at the top of this show this morning, from Andy Mitten and what he said on that podcast, Diogo Dalot needs to start upping his game. Otherwise, he's going to be in trouble and he's going to end up getting sent. He's going to end up being sent packing by Manchester United. United cannot cling on to players just because they are long-serving players, professional enough, they have to perform on the pitch. And yes, I don't care about that stupid story about him being related to Ruben Amorim. I'm not even reading into anything on that side of things. I don't think Ruben really, if he was asked a question, would say that Dalot is the exact type of player he wants on that side. And with the football structure above him now also, like we said, talking to him and constantly involved in trying to help the first team, I think that a decision will come. And I think a decision isn't a million miles away on that area of the pitch as well. And it's not like we've got one manager now that's just dictating how things go and what happens at United. There's now a structure above him that's also communicating with him and saying, maybe this would fit better. What about this as an option? Just that there is the big part in all of this. Having somebody else there to say to Ruben Amorim, this is another option we could go. It's another road we could go down here. This might help your system. We're learning off you. We're watching you. We're constantly watching every single training session. We know what you want to do. And like Wilcox said, he's there every single day watching. So if you've got eyes from the side, watching in on what's happening on the training ground, looking at the application of the players, watching what Ruben wants from the players, just to have that football nous and somebody else watching in and giving pointers, I think is where Manchester United move forward. Them smaller, minor little gains again of Manchester United being able to develop a team from within. Like, this youth player is perfect for this position. We maybe give him a few training sessions, see how he adapts in training, see if we can build him up. But also in the meantime, we need to bring in this player because he's ideal. And having that experience around Ruben now, I think, is the difference. Tino, Livramento Muñoz, these players, some of you might not think that they are the right fits for Manchester United, but the area in which they play, I think it's encouraging to see United actually scouting this area of the pitch, because we all know, we've watched enough. We know where the weakness is for United. It's not just midfield, it's out wide. And if we fix that, and it's like, for instance, someone made a great comment the other day, and Kaz brought this up to me as well also. If you can get a partner on that left-hand side for Matthias Cunha, just like Ahmad and Brian Mbeumo have got on that right-hand side, you are looking so dangerous as a team then. You're looking at Mbeumo and Ahmad and the dynamism that they bring. Just give someone more reliable to Matthias Cunha on the other side, on his side of the 10 attacking role, with a decent wing-back there, and bang, then you're really rocking and rolling, aren't you? That's what I think we're missing. And do you know what? I'm like, to Matthias Cunha's defence a little bit here. And I know these players all switch and interchange around the front line, so I'm not saying that Mbeumo is stuck with Ahmad and they stay together and they don't go across the other side. It's not like that, but I think Matthias Cunha has missed out on having a consistent player on that left-hand side. I think he's missed out in that area of the pitch and just having an understanding, because you can see Mbeumo and Ahmad are on the same wavelength. You've got Dalot and Cunha, you've got Dorgu and Cunha, sometimes bleeding Mason Mount and Cunha. No, it wasn't Cunha, but it was just Mason Mount on that side that time. Look, it's not the same, is it? I'm not saying that we need attacking wing-backs. There are going to be times when United need to be a little bit more defensive against certain opposition in this system as well. And that's when Dorgu could step in. He plays both left and right. He's going to understand that he's not going to be a first-team player at Manchester United. He's only 20. Get out into the market. Get someone who is experienced enough that can play that role on that left-hand side for Manchester United. And I reckon you'd get even more out of Matthias Cunha as well. I think it's that important for United that this role isn't just a weakness in terms of defence, it's a weakness in attack, I feel. And we're relying so much on the right-hand side at the moment that I think this would then give United that extra edge. I think this would give United that push where we can really say we have one of the best attacking lineups going. But that's how key the wing-back is. We're going to get into some comments in the live chat right now. Is it time for Dalot to leave? Give me your opinions. Am I being too harsh on Diogo Dalot there? Is he Is he a player that could improve in this system, or have we seen enough, people? Get into the live comment section. Let me know what you're thinking, everybody. Kiefer's coming this morning with a super chat. Did you see that Gabriel got injured, Adam? I did. We are talking about that on Football Talks just after this live show here on FUTV, everybody. So if you stick around with us, Football Talks will be straight off the back of this show this morning. Gabriel out, as that opened up an opportunity in the title race for anybody to catch Arsenal, really, because when you lose a player like that, it is massive. I think this is also something that Manchester United are looking at as well. It just goes to show that one player being injured or leaving on international duty or anything like that, it's like we've got coming up, could derail a season. Just them little moments in seasons where you think this is not going my way. You have to remember that this squad, if we lose key players in certain positions, we could easily just plummet again. And obviously, I'm aware of that. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to be negative. But just a little reminder with Gabriel's injury, how much it does mean to have a good squad. United don't have that. We don't even have that on the left-hand side to start games with. Never mind have cover with. So let's get into the conversation. Let's get into the chat. See what you're saying. Who is your ideal? Would you like Muñoz or Livramento? Do you think them players are good enough for what we need right now? Get into the comment section. And let's have it, everybody. Shane says he can't go. Dalot is family. I knew that comment was going to be coming. Dalot could cost our overall improvement this season, says Michael. Other teams are fully aware he is United's weakness. He says that as well. It was funny when the ever-present Dalot was revealed as related, though. Yeah, I know. But we're not paying any attention to that. So it is a funny story. And you couldn't have scripted it, could you? You really couldn't. But look, Dalot has been there for a while. It's not just Ruben Amorim. I think this is the point that we need to make here. I think Ruben's looking at the best he can fit into this. And Dalot listens. Look, Dalot's a pro. And compared to what Ruben has had to work with when he first walked through the door, I think he'd latch on to someone like Dalot because he is one of them senior figures now at the club. Look, I'm not making a defence for him. I think even if you asked him face to face, he would say exactly the same. His performances have been pants this season. And he has been really, really inconsistent. So, yeah, I think this is the type of player that Ruben is happy to have in his squad. Look, I've got no problem with Dalot being a cover and being on the bench. I've not. I think that's where his level is at Manchester United. I think that's where we are at now. So, I'm not saying we have to sell him. If a good offer comes in, by all means, yeah, let's get rid. But I think Manchester United could do with having that type of player. Could do with having a good squad player behind an out-and-out starter. We haven't got that starter. That's the thing. We haven't. None of them are good enough to start games consistently for Manchester United. The inconsistencies of Dalot and the inexperience of Dorgu are not what we need right now. Tom says, I want to see Ruben be ruthless with Dalot and sell him in the summer. I don't think there's many that would disagree with Tom on that one. And nearly every day I watch this show at 3 a.m. London legend, mate. Absolute legend. Cheers for that, buddy. I called it yesterday, Tom. I said Ben was going to upset Eubank. Oh, that on the fight. Sorry, yes. I think Ben definitely deserved that one last night. That was as one-sided fight as you're ever going to see. We seem stuck on wing-backs, and now we're looking for a guy on the right when it's a successful area of the pitch. Look, I think both Muñoz and Livramento can play either side. I think they're versatile. I look at look, Ruben's already said Ahmad is perfect for that role on the right-hand side. So I think we're pretty safe in Ahmad staying there. I think he doesn't, like I said, I don't want Ahmad on the bench. I want Ahmad starting games. And Ahmad consistently playing on that right-hand side gives us another option going forwards. I remember someone breaking it down on the radio, one of the pundits, a couple of weeks ago, saying that Ruben Amorim's perfect tweak of system in bringing Ahmad in on the right-hand side has just added that extra little bit of attacking threat for Manchester United. Getting another attacker on the pitch who can do something with the ball. Because let's be honest, if you're attacking, you're not defending. Best form of defence is attack. It's the old-fashioned saying to get into it. And the attacking wing-back side of things is definitely going to be something that Manchester United utilise, I think, under Amorim. I think he will be going for an attacking style wing-back. I do think that's what Manchester United's scouting department will be looking for, because that is key. When you get the best midfielders in, I think then you can sort of add in them little bits to the wing play and them extra bits of talent out wide, and it would actually make Manchester United even more of a threat than what they are now, because I think we are right up there now. We're creating just as many chances as anyone else and right up there on the goal scoring. So I do believe that Manchester United, with that best-in-class midfield, the best-in-class wing-back, just for starters, going into these next two transfer windows, if we can, obviously, if we can be in the January window. I'm expecting the better place to come in the summer, but them two areas of the pitch, I think if United get them right, then that's consistent top four for me. That's where I see it anyway. I hardly realised Dalot need to be replaced for the past 2 seasons. Is that supposed to say already? Look, Dalot, I think, has been a debate. I think on that one, SJY, he's been a debate, you're right, for the last 2 to 3 seasons. I do. I think since the start of Eric Ten Hag, Dalot has done all right. I think he improved the most under Eric Ten Hag, actually. And it wasn't bad. And this was where the decision was made regarding Aaron Wan-Bissaka and whether or not to keep Dalot or Wan-Bissaka. Remember the debate and the conversation we was having, actually, in the summer when Wan-Bissaka went. But I feel like Dalot was always the most, I would say, was he the best of the two? That debate can run on. It's gone now, obviously, but still, I can go back to it there. And everyone was there, was uncertain whether it should have been Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Dalot. So we was not fully on Dalot and convinced by him then. So to be here again now, it's no surprise. And I think manager after manager and unrest, I think Dalot was just like Luke Shaw, just slipped through the net every single time. There's always been a problem bigger. That's what I'm talking about. There's always been a bit more of a circus act going on at United that needs to be sorted before we get down to this sort of player. This summer, I think we are going to now see Manchester United operating in such a different way compared to previous windows. There isn't as much crap to deal with, so we can concentrate on the needs must for the team rather than the culture and behind the scenes. So now we can start pinpointing certain areas of the pitch that we need to bring in perfect players for. And that area there, I think, is one that's going to be right under the spotlight, I think, this summer anyway, in particular. I don't see us bringing in anybody in January. If we could, I think we will. But, I mean, it was Dorgu last January transfer window, wasn't it, that we brought in. But I just don't see it happening because I think, and again, look at the players Manchester United are linked with. Look at who we're looking at. Just going into the midfield area, you've got what I can see there, 5 central midfielders Prem proven. Wing-backs that we just mentioned here playing at clubs in the Premier League now that have been consistent for years. This is where Manchester United are going. I do believe that there are other players out there in the world. I'm not saying there isn't, but for now, we are making sure that we are getting best in class in Prem proven players in this starting 11, and then we can look to try and develop even more past that. I'm so pleased that Manchester United are looking at this and going, first 11. That is the most important. First 11, I think, is massive for Manchester United. That, I feel, is where United are going. And I do think that Man United now, personally, have got it all in place. And I think we are moving in the right direction with the recruitment side of things. We will see in these next 2 windows in particular, I feel, anyway. Quickly, just want to update you on some more Manchester United news before we open up the debate again a little bit more. Just on a couple of other subjects around Manchester United, Ruben Amorim does not want Marcus Rashford in his squad for anything in the world. Again, more confirmation coming from Spain, and this has come from Touchline as well, but Spain, Dario Sport reporting this. The relationship died between Marcus Rashford and Ruben Amorim when he first fell out with him the first time. and it's never been repaired. I think Sully has said this as well, that Marcus Rashford will not be coming back. And when I talk about Man United being able to look at transfers properly and have a real transfer window, it's things like this that we don't have to worry about anymore. Just them issues gone. No drama. And you'll notice, like I've said this before, when United are winning, when United are doing well, it goes quiet behind the scenes. And that's where we're at right now. Rashford can stay in Barcelona. Thank you. Job done. Well done, Marcus. You found the club where you belong. That's over. Let's look at the wing-back. Let's look at the central midfield. Which players fit that better for Man United? That's what we need to be discussing constantly now. The proper football conversations is what I'm saying as well with Manchester United now. More reports also on Jack Fletcher as well at Manchester United and everything that he's doing progress-wise. He's starting for England under-19s, just like Shea Lacey and the under-20s, Jack Fletcher under-19s. I'm saying this because this needs to be talked about, because we have just gone through under-21 championships for England, winning under-21 championships, doing so well. Not one bit of representation from Manchester United at any level for England, going from the first team to under-21s at the moment. And just to see the likes of Lacey and Jack Fletcher featuring for their international sides, under-19s and under-20s at Manchester United, they're the little bits behind the scenes that United can develop once we've sorted the first team. And that's coming in time. So all I'm saying here is like United have got everything in order. Everything's working behind the scenes, academy-wise, developing these players. We could just get their first team football right. Then you can start bringing in this academy batch of players and the quality that's coming through. We can pathway them properly instead of forcing them into Man United's first team and turning them into players that we don't like anymore. Players that feel like they are fully entitled because they have come through Manchester United's academy. Not all of them. Definitely not all of them. I've made this point before. I'm not totally slaughtering Manchester United's academy here. I don't think that Manchester United are in a position where we're losing control. And I don't think that Manchester United are actually in a position where we are going to have to, again, completely fleece our academy and just send them out everywhere. I think we've got an order now. And I think United, I do think that we've got it right. I do. I'm really excited to see if we can get this transfer window right, which is why I'm talking about it in detail now, and the anticipation of getting this next summer window right with the right players, that these academy players, we're going to start seeing the best of them come through as well. Let's get some more comments in here. There's loads of people coming in with potential wing-backs as well and their opinion on Manchester United's wing-back area. Let's see what we've got in here. Steve says, would Ahmad as a 10, would prefer Ahmad as a 10, but with present squad, I can see why he is being employed as right wing-back with current squad. Great lad who will play where asked. Well, I mean, attitude, Steve. That's what we're talking about. Manchester United developing academy players with the right mentality is also key. I know Ahmad wasn't an academy player who was brought in from Atalanta, but this is what you're looking at. Characteristics that Ruben constantly talks about as well. This is massive for Manchester United. Dalot was bloody shocking versus Forest. He was. Harry Amas can be the reserve wing-back next season. Obviously, Al, this again is point proven on the academy side of things in organising and giving them players the perfect opportunity to develop and be ready to maybe step. And I say maybe because there's no guarantee that these players are going to feature in Man United's first team. But maybe getting the right loan. Now, obviously, employing Johnny Evans as that loan director, whatever the title is of it. But again, I made a point on this the other day, doing a separate show, talking about Manchester United finally getting the loan system right and finally getting the right clubs for these players. Like Harry Amas thriving now, and potentially more players like Kone, like Biancheri and Musa all leaving on loan in January to try and get first-team football. By the time the summer comes and United head out on pre-season tour, you could have several academy players knocking on the door. Like, this is my opportunity. I think I should be in the side. this is what you've got now. But you do need to have the first 11 on point to develop this. Look at Arsenal now bringing through their academy players. It's because they've got such a strong first team. Liverpool have done the same with theirs, and you see it all over. Look, Manchester City have got it. When you build the base and you go in and invest heavy, like Arsenal, City, Liverpool have done in their first 11, and you make sure that that is right and competitive, and you stay in the Champions League consistently, and then you can develop the younger players properly, and you can then just go out and handpick with the recruitment team that you've got the right players to bring in here and there. Not the scattergun approach of complete rebuilds every single season. And it's no coincidence that word came out from Ineos on Manchester United's transfer business and structure. It's not going to be a rebuild every single summer like it has been before, because that's all we've spoken about, isn't it? Rebuild, rebuild, rebuild every single summer. We need to get rid of 11 players near enough every single year. And that's what the talk is all about. But I do believe that we are now getting closer to normal business. And I think the academy will back up what we do. And I don't think Man United are going to be spending Brewsters in the years to come. I think the first 3 to 4 years of Ineos transfer windows are going to be bonanza windows. I think after this window, this next summer transfer window, you might be looking at 1 or 2, 3 maybe, type transfer windows, as in the number of players being brought in by Manchester United. That's what I feel anyway. I think it's getting to that point where we used to be like this with Sir Alex Ferguson, where it was just 1 or 2 players being brought in. Look, I'm not saying that we're anywhere near a Ferguson Man United side yet, but I think we're going to bring in another 4 or 5 this transfer window, summer coming, and then after that, I think it'll slowly start to drop away in terms of how many players we bring in. Unless you're obviously replacing players. But look at the age of the players that we've brought in already now. The age of the players that we're actually seeing in Man United's squad, and the average age, once the likes of Casemiro, Harry Maguire and Bruno Fernandes leave, you're looking at elder statesmen towards Mazraoui, who's just turned 28. It's going to be one of the youngest sides in the league. And that, I think, is what Man United are also working to. Ruben's style to have 2 more defensive midfielders and then 2 very attacking wing-backs. Can't do that while Bruno is here. So we need a different type of left wing-back with Bruno than we need if he leaves in the summer, says Gary. Bruno is there because Bruno is pretty much all we've got in that area. You could say Kobbie Mainoo deserves a chance in the Man United side. Valid point. But again, you're not going to get the numbers that Bruno puts out, and Kobbie is way behind Bruno Fernandes. I don't care what anybody says. I really don't think he's got a chance against him. Who cares what we're going to do in the summer market? We need to know how we can improve in January. Well, this is the thing. In terms of the January transfer window, Manchester United have to be very clever. Do we go out and get the loan deals done and save the money for that important summer transfer window? What we do in January is definitely going to determine what happens in the summer as well. If United could get any of their main targets in January, they will go out and get them. And the money is there, and I don't think it's a problem. But we are looking at a difficult window to get the right players. And again, I'm going to say this, and I said this at the end of the summer transfer window just gone. I don't want Man United to just go out and buy a name because it's going to fill a place. I want Manchester United to go out and buy the right players. I don't want to panic buy. I don't think that is the right way for Manchester United to approach it. And I'm glad we didn't go out and panic and bring in a midfielder in the last few weeks of the window. I think we need to look at it properly and get the right type of players instead of a player just because we need one. I never wanted Ineos in the first place. They have sacked people on 30k a year to pay bang average players 400k. It's crazy. We need rid of the Glazers and got another one. Well, you just said you never wanted Ineos, but we need to get rid of the Glazers there, Stephen. Which way is it, mate? In terms of people being sacked at Manchester United, could we look at this and say that these were people that weren't necessarily needed at the football club? And sometimes in big businesses, things like this need to happen. It does. if United get Champions League football, I don't think anybody's going to be complaining about what Ineos have done so far, are they? Look, let's just see how it pans out first. And like I've always said, judge Ineos after 3 years. After next season, I think we can really start looking and seeing what Ineos have done and built. But from what I'm seeing, I think it's mass improvement so far. I really do. We need to be challenging for the title again at long last next season. At long last next season. Tim thinks we're challenging next year. Hey, look, I'm on board with that, mates. I'm on board with that. I do think that we should be aiming higher. I don't think we're challenging yet. Can we get closer with the window? Yes. We invest right. Of course we can get closer to where we need to be. But I still think we're a little bit off that yet. I would take the next couple of seasons consistently being in the Champions League and just getting better and better. I still think we're way off the consistency of the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal and Manchester City at the moment. And we go into every game still not knowing. Well, you know that Arsenal, City and Liverpool are going to go into their games and you're going to be confident they can get the win. With United, the confidence is building, but we're not quite there at that level yet. I think maybe a couple more seasons, then if we continue the improvements in recruitment and the quality of player and the way we're playing, there is a clear improvement this season, so we can't say that we haven't seen that. I think it will gradually just get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's it. Let's see. If I've a dilemma, mustn't panic by, but do need players to ensure we get European football, and preferably Champions League to entice the elite. Well, that goes back to what we said yesterday regarding the João Gomez and Conor Gallagher videos that we did yesterday. Go watch them back yesterday. All the detail on João Gomez's situation and Conor Gallagher were yesterday's 2 videos, everybody. So check them out there on the channel as well now, so you can get fully up to date on them situations. But just overall on that, again, we won't be getting the top target this January, but somebody to come in and definitely help United would be probably what we'd expect to happen. If anything, we've got a long way to go, but I do think that we need. I do think that we need to make sure that even if it is just another player coming in January that's not going to be a top target, he needs to be of a certain quality. I do like the look of Gallagher and Gomez as that type of signing, though, because I think we are going to lose a few players in the summer also. I'm certain that if it's an option this January, Semenyo should be added to the squad. The attacking depth mean that we can sell Xerxes, Erasmus and Rashford. Erasmus and Rashford are definitely going. Romanov pretty much confirmed that yesterday. And Xerxes is still being told that he's not leaving. I guarantee you, if there's an option for Manchester United to go and get Semenyo, and Xerxes had to leave because of it, Xerxes is gone. He's gone completely. See you later. Take what you can. They would sell Joshua Xerxes in a heartbeat to try and get Antoine Semenyo. Simple as. I don't know, Adam. We got beat by United. Anything can happen. Mate, you got battered by Man City as well the other day, loaning. Liverpool, I think, are out of the title race. We'll talk more on that title race on Football Talks in a moment anyway. But yeah, maybe an opportunity for you boys, though, with Arsenal losing Gabriel. We're going to talk about that also. Can we get Kane if Bayern win the Champions League and he wants to come back to England? Would he actually break the goal record with us? Is there anyone out there that would take Harry Kane? By the way, just wanted to ask that question. It's nothing's happening. There's no links at all. It's still the same situation with Ben Jacobs saying that he wants to move back to England and it's not necessarily got to be Spurs. Would anyone take Harry Kane? It's going to cost you nearly 50 million for a player in his 30s. Is that sensible? Would anyone do it? Don't get me wrong, his fitness record is very, very good now as well. But I don't see Ineos sanctioning a move for Harry Kane. I really don't. I think they look more towards the future, and I think that's what we can expect to happen. It will be of the younger type of players I think United will be going for. By the way, it is Ben Jacobs who linked Livramento to Manchester United. And he's the one who's linked the Jason Wilcox to Livramento Southampton relationship. So if you have just jumped onto the show this morning, you might be having a lie-in on a Sunday morning. It's allowed. It's International Week, everybody. It is on a complete chill down and the calm before the storm that's coming towards the back end of this week now. But yeah, if you were just catching up, we're talking about Livramento Muñoz from Crystal Palace. Man United looking at wing-backs and finally addressing that big situation that we've got, particularly on the left-hand side. But it was Ben Jacobs that linked Livramento and Jason Wilcox together. That's the link why he's on the thumbnail and what's being spoken about at the moment, alongside Muñoz, who would be keen on moving to another club in the Premier League also, just to keep you up to date on that one as well. We must sign Anderson at any cost. Academy players also doing great, especially Kone, Jack Fletcher and Jimmy Thwaites. On the Elliot Anderson situation as well, there is real interest, not just from Manchester United. The Mirror this morning are running Manchester United will make signing Nottingham Forest England international midfielder Elliot Anderson a priority in the January transfer window. If they can. Don't think they can. There have been many other names touted and added to United's target list, but it's Anderson who Ruben Amorim and the recruitment team are most keen on, as we already knew on that one. But again, there was a report there talking about the January window, but Chelsea are supposedly really keen on Elliot Anderson as well, and that is going to be the fight that Manchester United are up against. He's going to be wanted by several clubs, and look, it's just a case of looking through every single quality midfielder in the league and expecting them all to move this summer. Wharton will go, Anderson will go, Baleba will go. There's going to be many others moving from Europe as well. Just expect it to be the midfield window. Last summer's transfer window was the striker window. This season, the trend is definitely going to be central midfielders. So prepare yourselves for that. And United will be at the forefront of it as well. They will try in January, but don't expect January to happen when it comes to midfielders or top targets coming in. That's all I'm saying. It's like, let's keep our expectations in check for January. I do think United will get one loan, potentially, but summer's going to be massive for Man United. It's going to be huge for Manchester United. Also, please do keep your likes coming in, everybody. We're not far away from that 200 live like mark. For a weekend in the middle of international break, to have this many people in, it is absolutely huge. So thank you so much again, everybody, for keeping the conversation and the chat going there. I can see loads of different conversations happening. A few on Harry Kane as well. That one is definitely going to split opinion. Getting Kane would be a no-brainer regardless of his age, says Tim. I think we missed the boat with Kane. Should have got him before he went to Bayern. Agree with that. Kane is good, but we can't afford to buy old players because of financial fair play. The only way you get Kane or afford Kane is if you get Champions League football, by the way. I think that's what we're saying. Henry says, Adam, a no to Kane for the reason being his age and the price for him. If he was going for 20 million, yes, in my opinion. Yeah. London, thank you for dropping that membership. Lawrence, welcome to the Members Club, mate. Legends, both of you in the chat every day. Sesko Lover says, as long as they get EPL proven players this January, then I'm happy. But Gomez is a cheaper deal. Cheaper deal can be done easily. Gomez, I don't think will be cheaper than Conor Gallagher overall. I think Wolves will want in the region. I'm pretty certain Wolves are going to want between 40 and 50 million for João Gomez. Conor Gallagher, we know the price is pretty much at around about 40 million quid as an option at the end of a loan potentially. I think United would prefer that because they can spread the cost out more. Loan for this season, not spending any more this financial year, and then be able to go out and pay the money for Gallagher, potentially because we've got Champions League football. Whisper it. They're not there yet, but there is a good chance for Manchester United this season. I don't care what anybody says. I'm being excited and I'm being positive about it. Let's see what else we've got in here as well. I don't think any of the main midfield targets will be available. I'd rather save our money for next summer. I get that, Usman. Would you then, though, loan Conor Gallagher if you could, and then bring him in on money in the summer alongside maybe 2 other midfielders? Because United will be able, going off what Ben Jacobs has said, to afford Gallagher and Elliot Anderson for 100 million if Forest don't make European football. This could be how United are looking at it. And I said this on Elliot Anderson's show the other day when he was talking about his price and what we could expect to get him for. It's not going to be 100 million. It's not. That's been made very, very clear by the clauses in Anderson's contract. So get that idea out of your heads. Thankfully, we can say that as well. So you could get Gallagher and Anderson over the space of January and the summer transfer window for 100, maybe less than 100 million. I don't see Forest making European football. Sean Dyche is not going to take a team to European football. He's in there to survive, and Forest will survive. But they're not going to make Champions League European football, I don't think. And Anderson is going to become hot property come the summer transfer window, with United right up there in and amongst it. That is your show this morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on Forever United TV. Please do stay tuned in, though, because you will be directed over to Football Talks. We're going to talk that Gabriel injury, the international setup and everything going on. How good are England? What are our chances? Who would you play in that England side? All of that coming up on Football Talks live in just a moment, everybody. So please do stick around. Pop a like on this video if you haven't already. Get us over that 200 mark. I will see you then over on Football Talks in just a moment's time, everybody. And thank you for joining us this morning. Have a great Sunday.